Hello everyone, welcome to our virtual yoga class. My name is Vanessa and I'm here to support you for the rest of the class. We'll begin class by laying on our backs. Take a few moments to find your way there. As you settle into this first resting pose of the class, start to shift your attention to your breath. Your hands can rest on your belly, your chest, or your hands can rest on either side of your hips, palms facing up towards the ceiling. And you're noticing your relationship with your breath here. Notice your breath, no judgment, whether it's long or shallow, whether it feels comfortable or uncomfortable, no judgment. Make an assessment here of where your breath is right now. And notice that we're cultivating an art of slowing down, noticing our breath, and it's that noticing that we're going to bring into the class continuously throughout. I'll always remind you to go back to your breath as we're exploring our strength, flexibility, and balance. I recommend inhaling here, exhaling, sighing out. Noticing that release, physical, mental, emotional, as you sigh out. We're building a bridge of the physical, mental, emotional body. This is what makes this a more holistic yoga practice. Integrating these different parts of yourselves, physically, mentally, emotionally, expressed through our physical body, our breath. We welcome our breath, we welcome our experience. In the next 3 breath cycles, see if you can lengthen your inhale and exhale longer than you're accustomed to. You want to remind yourself what your full breath is like, what it feels like in your body, so that you can return to this breath at any time during the day, during the week. That moment during the day where you just need to take a pause, take a breath. These long breaths are an opportunity to notice, and an opportunity to appreciate your experience, to appreciate this moment. Here we express gratitude. Another inhale here, exhale, sigh it out. And then you'll invite a full body stretch, lifting your arms up overhead, pointing your toes. You can rotate your ankles, you can lengthen your elbows, you can swivel to the left, to the right. You're seeing what feels sore, what's open, what requires attention. You're also just gently waking up the body here. You can lift your abdomen up towards the ceiling. And then release your hand. We're going to bend our left knee, grab that left knee with your hand. 3 rounds, lift your forehead up towards your knee, drop your head back. You're rounding the spine, working your core. You can press that right foot towards the front for some more stability. On that 3rd round, remain there, an extra breath. Your chin shifts towards your chest, left shoulders lie down, and then release. Release your left leg, opposite side, bend your right knee, grab your knee, 3 rounds, lift up, flex your left foot towards the front. On that 3rd round, hold. And then drop your head back here. Now both feet float off the floor, grab both knees. You're gonna rock to the left and to the right here. And then release your left foot onto the mat. Rest your right ankle, right shin. Either ankle or shin, just depends on your body. Rest on your thigh. Weave your right hand between your legs. Interlace your fingers behind that left thigh. Breathe into that right hip, lower back, around that right glute. You can intensify that stretch by bringing your thigh closer towards your belly and your chest. Take a few breaths here, relaxing the neck and shoulders. Inhale. Then exhale, release. Opposite side. Rest your left ankle on top of your thigh. Weave your left hand between your legs. Interlace your fingers behind that right thigh. Breathe into your left hip, lower back, left glute. Another breath here or two. Release. Grab your knees with your hands. Rock to the left, rock to the right here. And then round your spine, forehead towards your knee, chin towards chest. You're going to get that rounding in the spine. And then release. You're going to lengthen both legs and then lengthen your spine here. So you're making this L. We're going to flex our feet and then lengthen our spine. Noticing any tendency to collapse. We lift our chest, you slide our shoulders down. Hold here, flexing your feet. You're breathing into your ankles, behind your knees, up to your hamstrings. And then inviting a little bend to your knees, start to fold down. Hands can reach anywhere, thighs, shins, or toes. You're noticing where your boundary is. Breathe into your boundary. You can soften your flexed feet if that supports you a little bit more, or you can keep your feet flexed. You're engaging with that deep belly breath. Your belly drops towards the floor. Chest are open, shoulders roll back. After a breath here, release. Bring both soles of the feet together. Bleed down through your chest. Belly drops down towards the floor. Soles of the feet touch. You can have a little bit of rounding in your spine, or you can purposely lengthen your spine. You're focusing here on the lower body. Inhale, exhale, one more breath. Release the pose, shift into a cross-legged position. As you shift into a cross-legged position, hands rest on your knees. We're going to take 3 intentional breaths here. This works on your concentration. Inhaling and exhaling. Noticing a second cycle of breath. And a third cycle of breath. Once you've taken those 3 breath cycles, release your hands. Inhale, lift your arms up overhead, palms up towards the ceiling, chin towards chest, palms towards the front. You're rounding your spine here. And then release. Let's transition into our tabletop. Hands are beneath our shoulders, knees hips width distance apart. We're going to inhale up into a cow pose, lift our tailbone. You want to release any compression there around the lower back. Round your spine, chin towards chest, separate your shoulder blades. 2 more times, inhaling up, purposely lifting your tailbone, opening the chest. And then after those 3 rounds, we're going to lift up into our downward facing dog. We're in that upside down V, pressing through our palms, bringing our chest closer towards our thighs. Our heels are lifted. Deep belly breath. Notice the upper body strength supporting you. Breathe into the backs of your legs, especially your hamstrings. I'm going to start to shift back into a plank pose. Hold your plank pose. Release down towards the floor. Now, tops of the feet will be on the floor. You're pressing your palms onto the mat. Now, I'm opening and stretching throughout the abdomen and engaging my glutes to support me in this upward facing dog. Curl your toes and using upper core strength to help lift up as I press through my palms. Downward facing dog. 3 breaths. Notice 1 breath cycle, a second breath cycle, into a third breath cycle as a practice here. And now second round out of 5, from your downward facing dog, shift into a plank pose. Release down towards the floor. Inhale up into an upward facing dog. Exhale, down dog. Inhale here. Exhale, plank pose. Release down towards the floor. Engage your glutes as you lift up, upward facing dog. Curl your toes, downward facing dog. 4th round, plank pose. Release down towards the floor. Inhale up. Upward facing dog, shift into your downward facing dog. Please invite 3 intentional breath cycles in your down dog. Notice the focus and concentration of noticing 1 breath to the second to the third. Next round, plank pose. Release down towards the floor. Inhale up, upward facing dog. Exhale into your downward facing dog. And don't recall if we're in our fourth or fifth round, we'll go ahead and invite another round, another vinyasa. From your downward facing dog, plank pose. Release down towards the floor. Inhale up, upward facing dog. And then exhale, down dog. Remain in your down dog. We're active here in our downward facing dog. Now lift your right leg, bend your right knee, stack your hips to the right and hold. You're bringing your chest closer towards your thigh by pressing through your palms. Breathe into your side body, into your hips, glutes, and hamstrings. Release your foot back down towards the floor. Take a breath here to transition. And then lift your left leg, bend your left knee, stack your hips. Chest towards your thigh, press through your palms. Breathe into your side body, hips, glutes, even your quads here. Hamstrings. Release your foot back down towards the floor and then step down into a child's pose. Knees close together or towards the edges of your mat. Notice the quality of your breath here. Three intentional breaths. Inhale, exhale. Breathe into your second breath cycle. And third breath cycle. At any point, inhale here, exhale, side out. Release a physical, mental, emotional tension and create a deeper connection of the physical, mental, emotional bodies. After you've exhaled, side out for a breath here, or two. We'll lift back up into our downward facing dog. From our down dog, shift into your forward fold. Knees are bent here, neck and head are soft. Sweep our arms up. Scooping up the energy of the day, taking it down to our heart center. Inhale and exhale. Exhale inside out. Release your hands. We're going to inhale, lift our arms up overhead, palms up towards the ceiling. Lift your heels halfway up or all the way up. Keep your gaze steady. You're noticing that paradox where your body is still, yet there's so much subtle movement in balance. Core is active. Notice any tension around the shoulders, draw them down. Glutes are active, supporting you. And then release your hands. Interlace your fingers behind you. Draw your shoulder blades and palms close together. Bend your knees here. Well, not yet. Let's take our gaze up towards the ceiling. Taking a moment here to open up our chest. Now keep your elbows long. Now we bend our knees, fold down, forward fold. Purposely bring your shoulder blades closer together here. Ground through your heels. Deep belly breath. Release your hands. 3 rounds. We inhale halfway up. Exhale. Release, softening your neck and head. Second round. Exhale. Release. Third round. Inhale halfway up. Exhale. Release and sweep our arms up overhead. Hands in front of our heart center. We take a generous breath. Inhale here. Exhale. Release your hands. Chair pose. We bend our knees. Engage your glutes or quads. Hold. Lift your tailbone. You can always bend your knees further. Keep your gaze and breath steady. Inhale. Exhale, release, forward fold. Inhale, halfway up, 3 rounds. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, release, 3rd round. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, release. Let's roll up slowly. Head comes up last. Notice a physical sensation in letting go. Legs are active, torso's relaxed. Our spine slowly lengthens. Make any adjustments here to feel comfortable. You're grounding through your heels. Palms are open. We're in mountain pose, hands framing our hips. If I try to move you, it'd be difficult to do so because you're so grounded. Core active and strong. We're in an active standing pose. Welcome a breath. Welcome who you are. Sun salutation, we sweep our arms up. Exhale, bend our knees as we fold down to our forward fold. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, release, step back. Inhale up, upward facing dog. We meet at our down dog. Lift your left leg, bend your left knee, stack your hips. And now left knee towards that left elbow, hover. Lift your leg, bend your knees, stack your hips. And then release your foot down towards the floor. Generous breath here, and now opposite side. We lift our right leg, bend our knees, stack your hips. Be mindful, generous breaths here. Take that knee towards your right elbow. You hover here, and then use that upper core strength as you press through your palms to lift your leg again. Stack your knees, or stack your hips. Release your foot back down towards the floor. And now shift into your tabletop. And directly beneath your shoulders, knees, hips with distance apart. We inhale up, cow pose. Exhale, round your spine, cat pose. Hold your cat pose into an inhale, into another exhale. And then plant that right palm onto the floor. Lift your left arm up towards the ceiling. Lengthen that left arm. And then release. Opposite side. Exhale, release your hand. Inhale, up, cow. Exhale, round your spine. Hold that cat pose. And then release. We're going to go ahead and transition into a cross-legged position. A little mini meditation here. 5 breaths. Notice 5 consecutive breaths. Inhale, exhale. At any time, exhaling, sighing out. 2nd breath cycle. Third breath cycle. And your 4th and 5th at your own pace. If your eyes are closed, open your eyes. Take your left hand towards at a right knee, twist towards the right. Chin moves towards your shoulder. Use that grip to intensify the twist. And then release. Opposite side. Twist towards the left. Release, come back to center. Inhale, lift your arms up overhead. Palms up, round your spine, chin towards chest. Release your hands, lengthen your spine, and now drop your chin towards your chest, neck rolls. Your head can roll up to the left, to the right, in a circle or half circle. Linger on any points that feel a little sore. Bring your head back to center, intentional breath. Inhale here, exhale. Side out. Start to lengthen, both legs out in front. Palms up towards the ceiling for a workout. Chin moves towards your chest. You're gonna hover, your feet can float off the floor. Glutes and quads are engaged, lots of core strength here. And then release your head. Gather a breath that begins at the belly. And then after that breath, a full body breath, breathing into your toes, up to the crown of your head. We'll start to shift into a twist. We'll bend our knees, drop our knees towards the right, and then drop our head towards the left. Our arms come out to a T. You have to really practice softening the body, neck, shoulders, down the length of your spine, hips. Notice how can you fall heavier onto the mat. Head comes back to center, bring both knees back to center, drop your knees towards the left, turn your head towards the right. So you work and you soften just a little bit more. Release, head and knees come back to center. Now, soles and feet touch. You can lift your arms up overhead. Your head is in the center of a diamond, elbows bent. You can rest your hands on your heart or belly. You rest your hands so your hands frame your hips. Remind yourself of your full belly breath. Take a breath cycle here. And then start to release your pose, lengthen your legs. We'll go into Shavasana, our last resting pose. Make any adjustments you need to feel more comfortable in the pose. You want to notice the wisdom of doing nothing here. In this pose, we're purposely still. We're being more than we're doing. This is a universal pose that supports us in releasing, letting go, inviting, receiving, generally integrating our practice physically, mentally, and emotionally. So take this opportunity to release expectations. You can let your breath go back to its natural rhythm, or you can practice some slow, intentional breaths. Do soften the muscles around your forehead, jaw, and neck, shoulders, down the length of your arms to your wrists and your fingertips. Release the upper back, mid back, lower back. Soften the hips behind the knees down to your ankles and toes. Notice any thoughts, any sensations without judgment, just notice. We'll start to shift our attention back to the breath, inviting a generous and leisurely inhale and exhale. Restore some movement to your fingertips, your toes. You have the option of inviting a full body stretch, lifting your arms up overhead or turning your body to one side. Invite a generous breath, a leisurely breath, and start to make your way up to your seat, whichever way is comfortable for you. And see if you can ground your practice into your body, practice that presencing, arrive into this moment, noticing your breath without judgment. And as you lengthen your spine and soften your shoulders, notice that by appreciating our breath, we're appreciating our experience. So in gratitude and in honor of our breath, intentional breath cycle, hands in front of our heart center, we inhale here and exhale. And in the tradition of yoga, the highest in me sees the highest in you. May you walk with each other in gratitude.